We now have breaking news about Snoke. That's right. Andy Serkis, who played Snoke, the crazy, insane, supreme leader himself in The Last Jedi, we're going to see and know more about it than ever. Because we're going to see him in the flesh. And he says, pain and greed is what drives the supreme leader Snoke. As he gave an exclusive interview to EW. Now, as he gave this interview to EW, your boy Carcino here was one of the first ones to close in on it because I wanted to see it for myself. And I am a subscriber to EW. So, I'm going to give that straight to you. Like he said, this time you will see him in his real presence. In the previous movie, we saw him as this huge hologram and telepresence, and you'll get to meet him in the flesh this time. And see, this is what he does. He's a cruel humanoid who disparages and dominates his two lieutenants, Kylo Ren and General Hux. He's a predator who identifies weakness and exploits it, drawing the young and promising to his side with promises of power, then using and discarding his proteges when they are no longer of use. Sounds like the Emperor, doesn't it? Exactly what he did. See, his training of Kylo Ren is not yielding what he wants. Therefore, his anger towards Kylo Ren is intensified because he can't bear weakness in others. Because of the manipulation is goading him with Hux and playing off them against each other. So that's why he has General Hux and Kylo Ren. They're like feuding, as you saw in The Force Awakens, how they were trying to one-up each other and feeding off each other. He was using that so that they would work harder to try to accomplish the goal. But maybe the effect of the pair is worn off. Snoke might need to be goading somebody, new with Kylo Ren. See, the thing about Snoke is he's extremely strong with the Force, the dark side of the Force. He's terribly powerful, but he's also very vulnerable. He's a wounded character. That's what Andy Serkis said. Says he has suffered and he has suffered injury. The way that his malevolence comes out is in that reaction. His hatred of the resistance is fueled by what happened to him personally. More information. Despite the fact that the Starkiller base has been destroyed and the resistance has been pulling up a fight, we will discover that the First Order has limitless resources in this one. Limitless. How Snoke got his disability? Well, we'll learn more about this in the next installment. Woo! Similar to Rey's parentage, Snoke is here to serve a function in the story. And a story is not a Wikipedia page. For example, in the original trilogy, we didn't know anything about the Emperor except for what we needed to know, which is that Luke knew about him, that he was an evil guy behind Vader. But then in the prequels, you knew everything about Palpatine because that was his rise to power. That was the story. Well, we'll learn exactly as much about Snoke as we need to, but the reality of what's really exciting for them is we'll see more of him in the later films. We'll get to do more in this film than he did in the last one. That's what's exciting for them, because this guy is a force of nature. You witness his physicality. His body is kind of twisted up like a corkscrew, so he has limited movement. His aggression and his anger is contained and restricted by that physicality. The only thing I did use was across his jaw. His jaw is completely mangled, and the left side of his face is mauled. So I had a way of taping down the left side of my mouth to restrict the lick movement on that side. Snoke's shattered skull and open jaw were also inspired by something I real like I like something from the real world. His deformity is very much based on injuries from the First World War from the trenches. In that conflict, modern war machine ripped and garled human beings like never before, but life-saving contemporary medicine ensured the survival of men, which otherwise would have died on that battlefield. They lived on the carrion damage previously seen on the other corpses. So perhaps because he does suffer so much, Snoke also makes a point to indulge in the comfort and the riches that the powers bestow, like Emperor Palpatine, who was draped in like relatively humble black robes of silk monk. Snoke wraps himself in a kind of shimmerish gold, usually seen in the palace of dictators of Las Vegas entertainers. Revenge is only part of his motivation. Greed is another. Oh, absolutely. He's slightly soaked in it. You know he's not afraid of showing his fineries. There is a luxury that is native to him. You can see it in his throne room and in his scarlet armored guard, the way his court is present. Very tolerant in that way, and he's very flamboyant. He enjoys the theatrical, I think. So we've learned a lot about Snoke today, and I'm very interested in the rest of this film, and I'm out. We are only weeks away from The Last Jedi. Can you believe it? Woo!